bailout. All right, that's what most people are familiar with. And basically, what a bailout is, it's a rescue package. It's an injection of money into the banking system, into the bank or an institution from the government. And it saves them from bankruptcy. It saves them from going into, liquidating, basically. That is the simplicity of it. It's what happened in 2008. 500, I mean, it was announced in October, I think it was 2008, that 500 billion was to be paid out. This was announced by the UK government. 50 billion alone was to the banks. All right, so just think about these numbers. Think about the amount of zeros. All right, and one point we always say the government's money. This is the point I have to really get across. It drives me mad when people talk about the government's paying them out. The government's doing this. It's our money. It's our money. It's taxpayers' money. It's not the government's. It's our money. All right. Please tell me to calm down, Adam, if I get excited. Because I'll get a bit wild.
Yeah. I think people just look at one step, but they don't go any deeper than that. So if you think, the government bail out the banks, okay, well, where do the government get their money from? And this is what we always try and do, is go beyond the surface,
follow the money,
ask that next question. The government get the money from us. So the government bailing the banks out is us bailing the banks out.
Yeah. Well, it drives me mad. When I first found this out, I just wanted to go and tell the whole world, but the world at the time wouldn't listen. They wouldn't listen. But now people are more open to it because they can see what's going on. This is just
one extra point on that is that they can leverage our birth certificates on that as well.
Yes. And Charlie, when I watched one of your videos right at the start and you shared that with us, I looked into it myself and I found it for myself. Again, I did my own research, and it was spot on. It was spot on. It's sickening when you find out the truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see why some people want to be ignorant to it and want to just go, because it is upsetting, some of it, when you really find out the truth that, there's people out there that don't give two hoots about you and I, about the people, the normal, hardworking people on the streets. These people in power do not give two hoots.
When you consider
to realize this,
when you consider people living in a council house who are struggling to feed themselves and struggling to keep warm, and then they find out they've been leveraged for £5 to £10 million. Them as a corporation, that's when they start to wake up and go, hang on, you're using me to make you money, and I'm struggling.
The crazy thing I always think as well is the banks are almost in this, because they are, in bed with the government. It's on a total different level to any other business. So you imagine your business or my business, or we've got our own little shop or company or whatever. If we make mistakes and we risk too much and we do silly things, then we pay for it.
Yeah.
If the banks take too many risks, they don't pay for it. So there's no repercussions for their actions. And this is why it keeps happening, because they're not kept accountable. The government just say, oh well, we'll just give you some money and you can just do it again. Yeah. It's madness. Forgive us if we're getting like a bit down and not dark, but this isn't like a super inspiring message. But I think it's really important to know what's going on, so that you can be aware, because that's the first stage, isn't it? Being aware and then doing something about it. So if
you understand it, you can do something about it, can't you? If you understand how the system works, you can use it in your favour and not the bank's favour, not the system's favour. Well, this what you just mentioned there brings me into the TBTF. It's basically the too big to fail theory. I'll just read this out to you. And the too big to fail theory, right, asserts that certain corporations, particularly financial institutions, are so large and so interconnected for their failure would be disastrous to the greater economy or economic system, and that they therefore must be supported by governments when they face potential failure. So again, it just links into what Adam just said. All right, too big to fail. They know it. They know they're going to get bailed out. Again, they don't get bailed out by governments, they get bailed out by us. That's a simple message. That's all. That's what you need to know. All right, I'm trying to keep it simple again. Because we go into it really deeply, but we have to always come out and just try and keep it flipping simple. as Adam said earlier. So that's bailouts, all right? That's bailouts. That's what most people are aware of. That happened in 2008, so most people are aware of that. And they're aware that it's taxpayers' money now. If they didn't know, they're aware of it now because we've just mentioned it. All right, we're not just making this up. All right? We're not just making it up. Really are.
I wish we were. I wish we were making some of this stuff up.